Hey guys, we are 7 months into this road to scratch journey, and I just wish we could go back in time because some of the things that I'm doing right now, I wish I just implemented a lot sooner. I feel like my progress would have been a lot faster. But anyways, if you guys are aspiring golfers wanting to get better, maybe take some of the tips that I'm sharing right now, maybe it'll help expedite your progress. And guys, if you're new to the channel, my name is Chonger. I'm an average golfer with the goal of trying to get to scratch. So the first thing that I want to update you on is I'm going to be working with a new coach, Tim Wilson. You would have seen him earlier on this channel as I got fit for my vokey wedges. And in that introductory meeting where I just got fit for my wedges, he was also giving me tips on short game, just my full swing. And in that short amount of time, I've already implemented a few of the things, like standing closer to the ball and also working on my wrist at the top. And just those two changes have already helped my ball striking. I like working with Tim because he's very technical, he's very observational, and I can see that he really wants to make you better. My current swing coach, he's kind of more of the swing your swing philosophy, and we don't really work on too many technical aspects. The only time is when I actually bring up questions to him, but my questions that I ask are usually stemming from fixes on YouTube and stuff like that. So I'm probably diagnosing the wrong problem for my swing, and so it doesn't really seem like it's totally fit for me. Perhaps, I'm not even working on the right thing or the right swing fix, so I feel more confident as far as growing and developing my swing working with Tim. I feel like he's gonna just tell me what I need to do, I'm gonna do it, and yeah, it'll be fit for me. I do want to say though, I think there's a good blend between being technical and kind of like the swing your swing philosophy, because you don't want to go too far into the technical aspect, because a long time ago I took lessons at Golf Town and they were really about the numbers, and I just started to overthink a lot. And maybe that's also too because I was just first starting out, and maybe when you're first starting out you don't want to see those numbers because you're going to be thinking about too much without a good foundation in place. And so the plan will be to take some lessons with Tim, maybe get him to look at my full swing, maybe do a playing lesson. I also want to get fit for the new titleist driver, so all of those will be in the future, hopefully. I also have better ways to film content for you guys. So my old setup was very inefficient. I had a GorillaPod and a mount for my phone, and I would attach the GorillaPod on either my click gear or my golf bag, but I found that it would move around as I'm pushing the click gear, or the angles were hard to set up. Just overall, a very bad way to record stuff for you guys, and also just even look at my swing. So I started looking at different golf tripod options, and I ultimately came across this one from G-Pod Golf. And the reason why I like this one is because you can stick it into the ground, so it makes it very easy to use and take out on the course. But if you're also filming inside, there is an indoor base. And what I like especially about it is the top, because you can stick your phone and it's a magnet, so that way you can quickly take it off, view your swing, put it back on. There's no clamps or kind of anything that are kind of hard to use. And if you also want, you can use your camera, so it is versatile. Another great thing about the G-Pod Golf is they partnered with Sportsbox AI to give you 5 3D swings and also a video lesson with a coach. So I haven't had the video lesson yet, but I have started to record the 3D swings, and already what I've learned from that has helped me as well too. So from the 3D modeling, I was starting to sway too much in my backswing, and that could explain why I'm chunking the ball sometimes. So instead of swaying back, I should be actually rotating better, and that helps me covering the ball, and I'm able to get better contact. So just from using this G-Pod, just by recording my swing and then also using the Sportsbox AI, I've learned a lot about my swing, and it's helped me progress further. If you guys are interested in a G-Pod yourself, I do have a discount code, so feel free to use Chonger and yeah, get a G-Pod for yourself. So while we're on the topics of talking about a new swing coach and also recording my swing, let me just talk about my current swing right now and what I'm working on. So there's a few things that I am focusing on, and it is kind of a major rehaul. So the first thing that I'm working on is getting better rotation in my takeaway instead of swaying away from the ball. The second thing is at the top, not having a cupped wrist. And the third thing is just working on my swing tempo. So as mentioned before, I was swaying away from the ball, and that can lead to some chunky shots. And I also don't feel like I'm, using my body as much and getting the most efficient power from it. So yeah, I'm really focused on rotating and actually moving more in my swing, because when I was swaying, I kind of had the feeling of, staying more in line, more like straight through. And the golf swing does have a bit of movement. The golf swing is athletic at the end of the day. So you really want to be feeling kind of that weight transfer, but feeling it in the right ways. So that's what I'm trying to work on right now. The second thing is working on the wrist angles at the top. So before I had a cupped wrist, and I feel like that led to some overcompensations when it came to my follow through. I'd have to either rotate my body excessively, kind of like spin out of control to close the face. I'd have to like exit left. There'd be a lot of different things that would make my swing look a bit janky. So trying to get my wrist more flat or even bowed at the top. And this is one of those things when I was recording my swing, I had the feeling, the rehearsals of having a bowed wrist, but then when I actually get to swing, it actually comes back a bit cupped. So that's one of those things where I think that I'm going to need to be working on a lot more. It's not one of those things that can be like overnight implemented. So hopefully we can get that, because then it will lead to better swing playing, being able to release the club better, and it'll lead to a more efficient swing. And the third thing I'm working on is swing tempo. As mentioned, my swing looked a bit janky. I feel like my swing was a bit out of sequence as well too. So really just trying to work on that 3-to-1 ratio, feeling more gradual in the backswing, and then really have that exert of power near the ball, but also not like continually like throwing my body, just having that one impact zone by the ball and exerting my force. Then I think just the timing of everything and lining it up will help me deliver a more efficient strike. So obviously all of those things are kind of what I'm working on right now, but I will be seeing Tim later, and then we can reassess then. But I don't think I'll probably see him for a couple of weeks now. So as far as like right now, those are the things that I'm working on. So since the last update, I played in my second golf tournament. I ended up shooting 92, and I'm actually very happy. There's a lot of things that I learned. So the first thing, obviously, my approach game was not the best. A lot of times, I was hitting my drive like pretty good in the fairway or like the light rough, and I was like 150, like 130 yards in, but I just couldn't land an approach shot to get into the green. So, I think also me working with Tim and standing closer to the ball and helping with some better movements through, I've noticed that my ball flight has gone more straight. So hopefully then my approach game will also improve then. But also that brings up another point, getting up and down if you do miss the green. And that's the reality too. As a higher handicap, you aren't going to be hitting the green 100% of the time. You're going to be missing the green a lot. So getting up and down, working on your short game. And so that's one of the reasons why I ended up getting new wedges. But now I have to actually, learn how to use these wedges. So that's one thing that I'm going to be practicing on, and I will be talking about that later on. And the third thing is the mental game. So for the most part of the game, I was actually very competitive. I was in first or second place. I was also kind of like psyching myself out and thinking like, ooh, why are you playing so good? You never usually play this good. And so I didn't really almost like believe it in myself. And then I kind of like went off the tracks a bit there. And also near the end, when I realized that I couldn't get first place like in gross score in my category, I lost focus, and I ended up finishing the round with a double and a triple bogey. So mental game is definitely something that I need to be working on. So short game is an emphasis that I do want to be working on in my game, because I find, even if I'm not striking the ball the best, which, most of the times I probably won't be, there are a lot of times when you need to get up and down to save that par. And so short game, definitely very useful. And so I did get fit for my vokeys, but I still need to actually get used to them, because, I'm used to playing with my old wedges, landing the ball onto the green and letting it run out a bit more. But now with the vokeys, they spin more just because I have fresh grooves. So I have to really trust myself that I can land the ball closer to the pin. And I don't have my 60 degree yet either, so I've just been practicing with my 50 and my 54. But so far, I'm able to do some shots that I didn't think I would be able to before. because I'm able to stop the ball a lot quicker. One aspect though of my short game in particular I want to work on is my sand bunker play, because when I was in the tournament, anytime that I got into a bunker, I would usually get a double bogey. So getting out of the bunker is very important for me. The one thing though that's a trouble is it's hard to find facilities, public facilities I should say, in Vancouver that do have sand practice. So what I'm gonna do is just take another lesson with Tim, be able to use the sand bunkers there, and also get his insights on how to hit some shots out of the sand. So yeah, getting up and down, important. We already got the short game part, but then there's landing the putt. So I do want to work on my putting and be more deliberate with my practice, because before, I just go out to the putting range and, practice and not really much structure to it. So I do want to be working on more technical skills and then also some games and stuff like that. So I have a few putting training aids already. So I've got some putting gates and I got some holes, just because sometimes the range gets a bit busy and so you just want to practice in your own area, put down a hole and be able to putt towards that. I also have a putting mirror coming, so I'm excited to see how my alignment and how I look over the ball and stuff like that. I also have a rope coming for distance control, because I think putting is like a couple of main skills, the start line, distance control, and being able to read the greens. For reading the greens, I'm definitely going to need a lesson, a putting lesson, being able to how to read and judge kind of different things like that. But for what I can work on, I do think I can work on the start line and distance control myself. So yeah, I'm excited to use these training aids. I've already started to gather such useful information from using some of the training aids, such as the putting gate. So on the straight putts, I'm able to hit the ball through the gate no problem, but on putts with break, I noticed that subconsciously sometimes I try to over putt the break. That causes me to actually putt into the gate. So I really need to trust my line, and so that I think is just me getting better at aiming, trusting that, and really committing to the putt. And if you guys are also interested in some training aids as well too, I do have a discount code RTS10 for 10% off. So feel free to check out the training aids that I've been using from the Back to Basics company. And I will be showcasing all of the different training aids in a video, maybe do a putting practice routine. So be on the lookout for that. Alright, so let's talk about my future plans. My handicap is currently 21.9, which does hurt the ego because it seems like I haven't been making too much progress. But I do have to remind myself, I haven't really played too many rounds. I've been working on my swing, but I do intend to play more rounds, and my goal is to try to get to an 18 handicap by the next update video, which should be in like 2 to 3 months. I usually update you guys. So I think that is a good goal for me to set. In the meantime, I will continue to be working on my swing. I'm getting some lessons with Tim. I also signed up for the Vancouver Open at the end of August, so I'm going to be preparing for that tournament. It's a 3-day tournament with a cut, so after the first 2 days, you'll know if you're playing on the 3rd day or not. So I think that will be my last tournament that I will be preparing for. And I have been liking playing in tournaments. I feel like that's where I learn a lot about my game and what I really need to be practicing on, because that's when you're in the most pressure. And so when I do come down to it and I eventually get close to scratch, I am going to be put into pressure situations, so why not get myself used to it now? Anyways though, if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace. I'm a rock star.